Lisa, the woman behind the blog People, Life, Politics and Bullshit. And this time I have decided to make a video post instead of writing. And the main reason for it is, first, I want to challenge myself to do that. And the second one is because I have had quite a hard time adjusting back to the reality of life after coming back from my pilgrim walk from Lisboa to Santiago de Compostela. And it has kind of made me question, where is home? A question which I have carried with me since we moved to Norway when I was 14 and a half. And now I'm 51. And when Troy Hedrick suggested that I could make some posts about my experiences in life as an expat, I thought that that could be a very good opportunity to talk about life as an expat, with touching the subject which is called home. By the way, if you haven't read his post, which is called Places That Made Me, you should visit Wise and Shine and read that post, because it's a very, very great post. And there are lots of other good posts on Wise and Shine, which are definitely worth the time you're spending on. So go to the Wise and Shine and check out the blogger community. Anyway, back to my life experiences as expat. I think there are so many layers in being an expat. I could talk about how I saw my parents, which were grown up and became to Norway, lost their kind of identity, because life here was so different from what they were used to. And especially my father, I think he lost quite a lot of his identity, because he was working as an engineer in Iran, and then when we moved to Norway, he couldn't find any job as an engineer. They didn't accept his education and his experiences, so he started working in a totally different branch with people in a nursing home. And yeah, for my mother, it was kind of different. She was a housewife when we were living in Iran, and coming to Norway, she started working in a kindergarten. But still, I think she had kind of a hard time learning the language and adjusting to the cultural differences. And when it comes to myself, moving to a new country at the age of 14 and a half is definitely not an easy age. I did go through a lot of traumas, which was connected to moving to a new country, and there was a lot of it wasn't easy in our family. My relationship to my father wasn't a healthy one, so I did run away at that age, quite after we moved to Norway from home, and I never returned back home. So the first part of my life was a lot about overcoming my traumas and learning new language, trying to understand a new culture, getting new friends, not feeling home, a lot of loneliness. And yeah, it's a kind of a period in my life where I wouldn't like to return to, but at the same time, I think it has enriched me a lot. I mean, I am the person I am because of all the experiences I had as an expat moving to another country. And I see that there are lots of people, like when they move to a new country, they are together, like people from different countries, they always stick together. And that wasn't the case with me, because there were not so many other Iranian people around. So I was like mostly with Norwegians. And that has been kind of a continuous thing in my life. I haven't been sticking with the Iranian people. So I have been like traveling a lot. I've met a lot of people from different countries. And I feel when I'm looking back at my experiences, I feel I'm very, 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 very rich. Even though it has been a lot of painful experiences, and I have gone through a lot of traumas, and I have to work through my traumas. And that again has made me a person which can see things from a much bigger perspective than many people which are around, which haven't moved, which has not had the chance to see how similar we are as humans. Like we all have emotions, we all have thoughts. The sorrow is the same, the pain is the same, the joy is the same. The only thing is we express it in different ways when we are coming from different cultures. So, but going back to where I started, the feeling of home has been a question which has been following me for a very, 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 very long time, and is becoming louder and louder the older I get, because I see it more clearly that I do not connect my identity to which country I am from. I do not feel like Norwegian. I do not feel like Iranian. I do not connect my identity to the work I do. I do not connect my identity to the money I make. For me, identity is very much connected to your deepest, for my deepest inner being, my essence. And that's not the way society is organized. I mean, you're all the time asked about your nationality. I am asked about what kind of job I do. So I've been measured from that point of view, which is making it very hard actually to be able to relate to that. So yeah, I think finding a place which is called home has been like the biggest challenging part of moving from one country to another country. And I know they say home is where your heart is, which is a kind of cliche. But then again, I think where heart is where what you create, or what I create, and how I relate to the everyday life. And if I'm living according to my deeper values and my essence, rather than the expectations from the society, which is kind of hard. It's not an easy task to be able to be a free spirit in a country where everything is so organized and so square, and there are very, very little room for being different.